are different, just like our wine glass. The curves create focus. So if one curve is steeper or more curved than the other, again, I suppose if we use that, you can sort of see the up and down isn't being made, it's been made a little bit bigger, but the side to side's been making really distorted because it's more curved that way than it is that way. So it creates a difference. So in that situation, obviously what we're actually trying to do is then make a lens that's opposite to that. Okay, so our measurements are actually on what lens we're going to put on their eye, not what their eye is that we're then going to do the opposite of. It's what we're going to do to correct it. Okay, so effectively with a contact lens or a glasses, we're actually trying to make a lens to correct that difference in focus on their eyeball. That makes sense. That's the astigmatism. So hence there are these two numbers. And yes, you asked a good question about can they be different. Yes, you can actually have this. So if I go and take that example, and we find that it's so at that power direction, and this is very important later on when you learn to actually how to measure lenses in the lab. If you do it by the manual vert, this is actually what you do. You look down and go, oh, in that direction you get that power, and in that direction you get that power, and what is the difference between the two of them, and what directions are they? So in this situation we have +3, so which is the most plus out of these two? Is it -225 or +3? What's +3? That's the most minus, that's the most plus. So we start at +3, and we're saying, well, what's the difference between the two?
0.75. No.
Alright.
No.
So what's the difference between you owing me $3?
Oh, sorry, because we're going from positive to negative.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
and I owing you $2.25, what's the difference?
$5.
Yeah, 5 and...
$5.75.
close, 5 1/4.
5 1/4.
Yeah, so -2 1/4 +3. And so sometimes when you're splitting across the minuses, it gets a bit harder, particularly if you've got something like +175 and -150, and you're sort of having to go, okay. Yeah, that it gets a bit funny, but effectively, so the prescription then becomes +3. So obviously, what we might do is we'll just get rid of that one. Clean it off. So we might get rid of this one. So still +3 is the most plus direction. What is the difference? We just decided that was -5 1/4. And the orientation, well, it's still at 180. And that's effectively how a prescription is done from a lens, okay? So you do have, and this is called mixed astigmatism. And mixed basically means not both curves are either in the short-sighted direction or the long-sighted direction, plus being long-sighted, minus being short-sighted. But one of the curves is actually long-sighted and one of the curves on the person's is actually minus. And so you will see that, not that uncommon. So in this particular thing, so let's take now this particularly interesting prescription and say, okay, we've ordered single vision, they need glasses for their distance and general focus. What lens do we have to use? Can we...
Progressive?
No, no need to have a progressive. This is a 6-year-old child, there we are. They have no ad, they have no reading thing, it's single vision distance. What are we going to do? What lens are we going to recommend for this child?
+3.
1.5.
1.53.
Is that right?
So right, so 1.53, we've got a suggestion of 1.53, that's a reasonable suggestion. Why?
Is that because
they
can be rougher on
pretend
the
I'm the
frames?
client. So I'm going to recommend you, madam, for your lovely daughter, who is very important to you and to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend a
1.5 lens because...
a 1.53 lens.
A 1.53 lens, sorry. Because if your child plays sport, it's better for them in case they're rough in their sport.
So roughly, because the lens is a little bit lighter, but particularly it's very impact resistant, very safe in case they get a bump or knock from their siblings or playing sport or whatever. It's a really impact resistant, safe lens to use. It also has, what other benefits will the child get from that? What other things? You can again look on your cheat sheet, on your handout sheet. It says what sort of other features is great for it. The 153. No, look on the lens map.
Obviously, cheat sheet. Okay, vastly superior optical properties compared to other impact resistance material. Cover your polycarbonate, not impacted by common household cleaning chemicals.
So it's good as far as cleaning them in case they spill stuff on them.
And
They've
being
got paint
children,
or
though.
solvents, or they get a bit of paint and you need to clean it off. It kindy.
Very durable.
Okay, so that's good. So all right, so remember, you're bringing back the land. As much as I've done that, that's still not personal to the client.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I haven't used, it's got a toughness scale of such and such and a specific gravity of 1.15 and its impact resistance is 8 times standard. That's very jargon. We've just converted it into not very jargon at all. It's much more easy language. It's more impact resistant, it's lighter and thinner, and it's very,
Childproof.
and it's very chemical resistant. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. We haven't made that personal to the client.
Yeah.
How is that personally important to this 6-year-old?
Because they might get upset and then they won't want to buy the glasses, and then they'll think, oh, I don't want the glasses.
Well,
But you're saying
so you're saying, and that's important because it'll give a nice cosmetic, won't look thick, and it
Yeah.
won't be heavy, and it'll be comfortable for this. It'll be comfortable for your daughter
6-year-old.
to wear. So they're comfortable because they're not going. It's going to be a bit lighter and thinner than it would be otherwise. Okay, so we're bringing it into their terms. It's
Yeah.
about them, not about us.
Yeah.
What else?
It's got good clarity. It's an Abbey 43.
So it's a really nice, clear material. Doesn't create any distortion. So really help us to. In this case, a 6-year-old with that sort of prescription, we're trying to actually. They're probably actually amblyopic. They're probably actually not learnt to see well, and we want them to regain that vision because otherwise they're lifelong going to have reduced in vision. Amblyopia will get into amblyopia another time, but it is a term to probably look up. So it's it's a nice clear material. What's another feature of the particular lens?
Polycarbonate.
It's not polycarbonate.
Sorry?
So the feature is that,
It is.
no. It's a feature is that it's not polycarbonate. So it's impact resistant, almost as impact resistant as polycarbonate. We took polycarbonate's that 1.5 material that's optically cracked.